It's time to get back down to business. And one place that's all business, the Mississippi Capitol Building. It's Jackson's epicenter, and within these marble walls where laws impacting Mississippians are born. The House Agricultural Committee is the second biggest in the Mississippi legislature and headed up by Representative Bill Pygott. He gave our own Leighton Spann a wide-ranging interview into how he got started in the political realm and what his team is doing for the betterment of the state's farmers.
Tell me a little bit about your farming operation, what it encompasses, what you do, what you used to do.
Well, I came back to the farm when I graduated Mississippi State, and it was an old-time dairy farmer. My dad dairied most of his life. My grandfather started dairying with my dad years ago, and it just kind of evolved into the main operation as cotton left the South. It's been a good life. I can't complain. He's raised a family, 2 children on it. It's a great place to raise children. It's constant work. You can learn how to work on a farm, but I dairied until I got elected to the House of Representatives, and shortly after I got elected, I dispersed the dairy. Then I transitioned into beef on my farm.
How does a South Mississippi farmer transition into politics? How did that come about?
That's a hard question to answer, how you get into politics. Politics always have been interesting to me. Been involved with some organizations that, kind of some reason there you want to make a difference. You think you can make a difference. Not necessarily true, but you strive to make a difference, so it don't take about 2 or 3 people ask you to run, and you've done over your head in it. But that's basically the way I got in it. It's just watching it, and the lack of, actually one of the reasons, lack of knowledge of agriculture in the legislature. We are, redistricting is done every 10 years, and you wind up with shifting population. You get more urban legislatures, and then you do rural, and that gets to be a problem. I saw it somewhat of a problem. We some great people here, but as we move away from the farm, so the legislature gets moved away from agriculture.
Well, you've alluded to this, but you obviously find a lot positive about, working with people and helping the people of Mississippi.
You get frustrated with the legislative process. There is probably what keeps you going is the calls from people who don't have a problem, have no earthly idea how to go about finding the right person. And when you can get that person some help, and they call you back, and they thank you and thank you, it makes it worthwhile to try to serve the people. Because it's just a matter of trying to balance everything and make sure the right things happen.
Let me ask you, not just speaking of bills that the committee has handled this year, but agriculture, what issue is really close to your heart, would you say, regardless of whether there's been a bill affecting that?
Yes, sir. Agriculture to me is a driving force of Mississippi economy. It's the largest industry in Mississippi. In 2016, the farm gate value was $7.6 billion, so that's quite a substantial number. And my goal is to make sure that Mississippi stays a right to farm state, that we have no legislation that would instruct undue regulations on the farmers, to give them where they want to be a large farm or small mom and pop operation, to give them that means where they can be productive for Mississippi. So that's the main. I think we're looking at something that's going to hurt down the road is water rights. That seems to get to be more and more of an issue, but also some of our environmental restrictions. So it's my goal to try to keep it as simple, for as complicated as it is to farm, to make it where they can farm the best they can.
And a lot of what you're speaking of there is coming from the federal side. If
A
I'm
lot
not
of it's
mistaken.
federal, a lot of it's federal. That interplays with the state. And I have no control over the federal regs, but just for our state inspection and all, make sure that they are no stricter than the federal regs.
As a farmer, what concerns you the most when you look at the future, what's down the road here in Mississippi?
Age of the farmer is getting to be, and it seems to be a issue every year. We don't have as many young people going into farming that we can, that should be, I think. It's very difficult to walk off the street and be in the farming business. It takes a huge investment. And most families, young families nowadays, they don't want to be tied 24/7 to a farm. So there's other opportunities. But I think that's one issue we're facing. I think we're facing other issues of competition for our natural resources that we got for farming, and also just the burden of over-regulation is something that needs to be addressed.
Can you speak any as far as extension and how
Yes, sir.
Extension has been involved in helping you as chair of the House Ag Committee?
Yes, sir. Try to work real closely with Mississippi State Extension. Mississippi State's very important to me. They are my primary resource person. Even I told you we work closely with Farm Bureau and the Cattlemen's Association, but the Extension has a real good feeling of what's going on in ag and a good feedback, and they're here pretty regular to update us on what's going on with the Extension. And they're very important for every county in Mississippi to have an Extension worker in that county to help the farmers. So they do a great job.